Welcome to SLN TV English. My name is Yasmin Saeed and I'm here to update you with the daily news. These are the stories making headlines. President of Somaliland returns to Somaliland. Minister of Water Resources updates media on upcoming works. German Federal Secretary officials have admitted they knew several weeks ago that internet hackers had stolen 16 million email passwords. President of Somaliland, Ahmed Mohamed Mohamud Silanyo, has returned to Somaliland following a work-related trip to countries in Europe. The President of Somaliland arrived this morning at Egal International Airport in Hargeisa from a trip to several European countries for work-related and resting purposes, and was greeted by several high-profile officials, including the Vice President of Somaliland, Abdurrahman Abdullahi Ismail Sayli'i. The President was given a ceremonial welcome by members of Somaliland's national military.
waxaa salaantaada u diyaara cutubyo ka tirsan ciidamada qaranka Jamhuuriyadda Somaliland ku soo dhawow.
And shortly after gave a short speech to media officials in the VIP room of Egal International Airport on the purpose of the trips he took to both the United Kingdom and France, and the government officials he met from those respective countries. The President said,
We went to
both the United Kingdom and France, and in France we met with members of France's administration, including the French Senate. We met with France's elders and several members of the French general public. We also met with the international French company Polaris, who has expressed interest in investing in the port of Berbera. We were received by the French government in the best possible way. We also met with Somaliland nationals living and working in both France and the United Kingdom, who expressed great pride in their country and its continuous development. The Minister of the Ministry of Water Resources, Hussein Ahmed Abdullah, spoke to media officials about upcoming works within the ministry. The Minister of the Ministry of Water Resources outlined in specific the current plans to build large dams in the regions of Somaliland. He said,
qorshaha waxa noogu jirta in biyo xidhanka la sameeyo in balliyo la sameeyo waaweyn.
We have plans to enlarge reservoirs in Somaliland and build new dams, especially in places where there are large water shortages. We are also discussing plans to place water restrictions in places where water causes large accidents and even losses of life, such as the riverbeds scattered across the country. He outlined that there are several non-governmental organisations willing to offer assistance in some of these plans. The Minister also touched on some of the advantages these places will have to the whole of Somaliland, including the benefit to our crops and livestock and the Republic as a whole. The Minister finally spoke of putting a team together from several of the relevant ministries, such as Ministry of Livestock, the Ministry of Environment and the Ministry of Agriculture, to carry out this work in terms of stability and sustainability after the infrastructure purpose. You're still tuned into SLN TV English, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news programme, and now for our international headlines in detail. German Federal Secretary officials have admitted they knew several weeks ago that internet hackers had stolen 16 million email passwords. German Federal Secretary officials have admitted they knew several weeks ago that internet hackers had stolen 16 million email passwords. The Federal Office for Information Security only alerted the public this week. BSI President Michael Hange defended the time lag in issuing the public alert, saying the office had needed time to set up a website where online users could securely check whether they had fallen victim to the theft. The BSI website, reassuring worried internet users, stopped working, but is now back online. Cyber criminals stole details which would compromise social media, shopping and other online services. Those affected have been advised to clean their computers using antivirus software and to change their passwords using complex combinations of letters, numbers and signals. About half of the affected accounts had email addresses with Germany's domain name ending .de. The gaunt figures of Syrians evacuated from Homs showed the effect of the 18-month-long siege on the population. On day one of a 3-day truce, the Syrian government evacuated 83 women, children and elderly persons from the rebels' old city. Many showed the signs of malnutrition. Aid workers with the World Food Programme said some had survived on a diet of leaves, grass and olives. The governor of Homs, Talal al-Barazi, expressed his satisfaction with the evacuation operations, saying that they had been successful despite the logistical issues. This is the first time in over a year that buses and visitors have managed to get to the old city, he added. Syrian authorities announced that evacuees would receive medical treatment and shelter, and humanitarian aid will be sent to those who choose to remain. Though the evacuation is a small step forward, a draft UN resolution demanding full access for aid workers across Syria was dismissed by Russia as a non-starter. It is estimated 40% of Africa's productivity is lost through lack of infrastructure. Despite this, the continent has the second highest growth rate among global regions over the past decade. At the Build Africa Forum in Congo-Brazzaville, key figures in finance from Africa and beyond came together to discuss the continent's potential and its infrastructure issues. Africa's infrastructure needs are estimated at 70 billion euros per year. However, currently Africa managed to only raise some 33 billion. It is argued that if Africa were to meet its infrastructure targets, it could create 2 million jobs directly and 2.5 million indirectly. The solution is for Africa to put in good governance and good policies in place, and that is the only way by which the problem can be completely resolved. Whenever situations you provide, it will be just a temporary solution. The movement of capital, the safety of capital, if investors can make a good return and if their capital is safe, it will be flooded into Congo. If it cannot, it will come, Ayeni said.
The solution is for Africa to put in good government and good policies in place. And that is the only way by which the problem can be completely resolved. Whatever solution we provide, it will just be a temporary solution. The movement of capital is the safety of the capital. If it can make good return and it is safe, it will flush into Congo. If it cannot, it will not come.
In Ivory Coast, we had 2 projects. During the conflict, they continued to pay their debt to our bank. There was not even one missing payments. Infrastructure assets are, if they are well structured, if they are structured in line with the best practices, and if they are getting some kind of government guarantees, they are actually the best assets in the world today, brings the required return to investors.
Taking a slightly different view, the director of the African Development Bank said infrastructure can still develop in times of crisis. In Ivory Coast we had 2 projects. During the conflict they continued to pay their debts to our bank. There was not even one missing payment. Infrastructure assets are, if they are well structured, if they are structured in line with the best practices, and if they are getting some kind of government guarantees, actually the best assets in the world today, bringing the required returns to investors. That's all the news we have for you today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.